And new at 11, the 14-year-old suspect in that deadly school shooting in Georgia made his first court appearance this morning. Colt Gray was charged as an adult with 4 counts of murder. His father, Colin Gray, was also in court and is facing murder charges as well. Investigators believe the elder Gray gave his son the AR-style gun used in the shooting as a Christmas present. That rampage left 2 students and 2 teachers dead. ABC's Morgan Norwood has more on what we've learned from these hearings.
Colt Gray, the 14-year-old accused in the mass shooting at Appalachian High School in Georgia, making his first court appearance. The teenager charged as an adult with 4 counts of felony murder. The judge laying out his rights, and Gray did not enter a plea. Less than an hour later, his father Colin, also arraigned, charged with 2 counts of second-degree murder, 4 counts of involuntary manslaughter, and 8 counts of cruelty to children. The 54-year-old nervously rocking back and forth in his chair.
These charges stem from Mr. Gray knowingly allowing his son, Colt, to possess a weapon.
Sources tell ABC News investigators believe Colin gifted his teenage son with an AR-15 style rifle for Christmas, which authorities say he used to kill 2 teachers and 2 students.
We're heartbroken. A young person brought a gun into a school, committed an evil act, and he took lives.
ABC News also learning of potential missed warning signs. The FBI confirming they received anonymous tips as early as May of last year about a disturbing post Gray is believed to have made on the social media site Discord, where they say he had possibly threatened to shoot up a middle school the next day. According to the Jackson County Sheriff's Office, he denied making the post during an interview at the time. His father telling investigators there were guns at the house, but his son did not have unsupervised access, adding that his son was being picked on at school. Colt was never arrested, but later transferred to this new county, where authorities say Wednesday he terrorized his own peers.
Desks, chairs, whatever we could really put, we just put it in front of the door, hoping the shooter won't come in. Really, it's just scary. God was watching over us that day.
Now, the judge initially said that Colt's 4 felony murder charges came with a maximum penalty of death or life in prison with or without parole. He then called him back inside the courtroom to state since he's underage, he can't face the death penalty. Colt and his father are due back in court on December 4th.
What? What's going on, guys? Hey, I want to come back to you. And I wanted to talk to you about a subject that I find interesting, to say the least. Right now, and that is for the second time in the course of a year or less, parents have been charged with crimes that their kids committed. And we're not talking about little kids, we're talking about teenagers. We're talking specifically about going into a school or whatever and shooting people. These parents are being charged with what their kids did. Now, I'm not saying it may be in some of these cases, charge parents with neglect or not locking up their guns or whatever, or locking them, properly. But, we're actually going to charge the parents who, did not plan any of this stuff. I did not know about it. We're going to charge them with the crimes their kids committed, like they're an accomplice. No, that's not real. And people got to realize it's not real. It truly is not real. But we're going to hold these parents accountable. And also, the funny thing is, these are white kids and white parents. And again, we also have to understand that over half of all violent crime in this country is committed by black people. And young black people, young black men overall. So are we going to start holding the black Get Obama accountable? Are we going to start holding, instead of just holding Tom accountable, what his kid does, or Jim, or whatever, are we going to hold Shamika accountable? We're going to charge her. If her son goes out, rapes 2 girls, kills, shoots other ones, are we going to hold the mom accountable for, double rape and double murder? second degree. Let's say that we hold mom accountable for maybe just second degree murder, manslaughter, or whatever, and sexual assault, not rape. How would that go over? Would that go over well? I don't think so. That would not go over well at all. But again, we're going to hold these parents accountable, these white parents accountable for what their kids do. And again, I'm not saying what the kids did was right. And I'm not saying they were good parents. But are we going to hold them accountable? Should we hold them accountable for what their kids do? Well, guys, man, I was listening to a part of a show today, the Jesse Lee Peterson show, and him and his experts were talking about this. And again, it's something we should do because again, that's the way they're kind of pushing this in the mainstream media. And overall, are we going to start holding parents accountable for the crimes that their teenagers are committing? Should we? Guys, watch this.
From what we're learning, Colt Gray's home life was fraught with problems. Police reports and court records concerning his parents, Colin and Marcy Gray, reveal a broken family. Colt living with his father, his two younger siblings living with their mother. Marcy Gray was arrested late last year for scratching her husband's truck. Then, when they arrested her, police say they found her with methamphetamines, fentanyl, and a glass pipe. She was sentenced to 46 days in jail. Also last year, Colt Gray and his father received a visit from Jackson County Sheriff's investigators. They were looking into an FBI tip. Apparently, someone on a gaming app had threatened to shoot up a middle school. They believed Colt may have been involved. According to incident reports, the then 13-year-old told investigators he didn't make those threats.
At least Colt a little older than those other pictures. So that's a little bit about his family, and this is from Fox. A sheriff investigator talked to Colin Gray. Watch this.
Here's a sheriff's investigator talking to Colt Gray.
I promise I would never say something like that.
So you haven't used Discord in a few months?
Oh, no.
And you're saying you didn't say anything like that?
No, the only thing I have is TikTok, but I just go around there and watch videos.
Colt's father told police he did have guns in the house. He said they were accessible but not loaded. He said he and his son would go hunting and shooting together. He said he wanted his son away from video games and into the outdoors. Colt even shot his first deer that year. Colin Gray also told police his son had problems at school, including being picked on.
I've been up to school, like I'm on first name. I just was up there 3 days ago for his finals, talking to the principal, like, look, we talk about it quite a bit. All the school shootings, things that happen.
Yeah, scary.
Hey, are you getting picked on at school? He is. He's getting picked on at school, and is everything okay? That's why I keep going up there.
After that talk, police left. They weren't able to substantiate the tip. Here's where a breakdown may have occurred. The Jackson County Sheriff tells us she believes her department alerted Jackson County schools, telling them keep monitoring Colt Gray. In an email obtained by the I-Team, a sheriff's captain tells the FBI, we have made area schools aware and will monitor this subject.
Amazing. They have no reason to be saying Jackson County Sheriff, she told us. What the? It should be a he told us. But anyway, that's a different day. This is from WGN9. A GBI spokesman announced that Colin Gray, 54, faced 4 counts of involuntary manslaughter, 2 counts of second-degree murder, and 8 counts of cruelty to children. And this is another from WGN9. It says that Colin Gray's father is charged, and President Biden called for gun control. Watch this.
Now, the teen's father, 54-year-old Colin Gray, has been charged in connection with the school shooting.
Mr. Gray, these charges stem from Mr. Gray knowingly allowing his son, Colt, to possess a weapon.
President Joe Biden, while speaking in Wisconsin, again called for gun safety measures following the deadly high school shooting.
Just getting back to school and a joyous and exciting time, absolutely shattered.
The president insisted that the nation cannot continue to accept the carnage of gun violence.
Some of my Republican friends in Congress just finally have to say enough is enough. We have to do something. Together, let's ban assault weapons. Okay.
Now that everyone's kind of caught up on what happened and where the kid came from, kind of his background, I'm going to let the experts weigh in on what should be done with parents. Watch.
Let's start with hate first today. Hey, should the parents be to blame for this?
Straight to it.
What do you say about all this, and should the parents be to blame?
Not legally, not for what the crime that Colt committed. No.
And what they should be, what are they to be blamed for?
For being messed up, and they didn't stay together and raise a good kid.
And why you say they should not be blamed legally?
Because a 14-year-old possessing a gun is not a crime. Letting your 14-year-old son possess, quote unquote, a gun is not. That shouldn't be against the law, because a 14-year-old is basically like a grown young man, and normally 14-year-olds are somewhat responsible. They can go out on their own and walk around the neighborhood and stuff like that. So they can also be trusted with adult things. And that's that.
Jack.
And you say, Joe, should the parents be legally, are they at fault for this?
Yes.
And why you say yes?
Well, the mother wasn't there. I mean,
apparently she's a drug addict.
She's a drug addict. She's gone.
In and out of jail.
Gone.
According to this report. Yeah. I don't know. I'm just saying what the report said. Should they be legally?
Colt was raised by the father,
Yes.
right?
It doesn't say
According
that
to
he was
them.
raised by the father.
Right. He was staying with him.
It says that the mother was in jail. Apparently the father and the mother had been mad at the father because she was striking up his car, so she was ticked by something.
Yeah.
And then they arrested her. She had this drug on her. She was in jail for 40 days or whatever.
Yeah.
I think that since the Colt was living with the father, yes, the father should be tried.
He may have been living with the mother too. It's just that she might be having her drug day.
drug month. But both should be charged.
And why?
Because they have a big part to play. I just don't like, and I'm still on this. I just don't like the idea that the child who does the crime gets tried, and the parents just get a slap on the wrist saying, well, you should have raised them better.
No, they're not getting a slap on the wrist. They're going to jail.
No, I'm talking about but that's how most people want it to be, right?
Oh,
just a little slap on the wrist, just saying that's how it was before. They'll just say it like that. That's how it's been.
That the parents were not punished.
Right, the parents were not punished. They just get a slap on the wrist.
So you want the parents to go to jail?
I want the parents punished. Yeah, and if the punishment is going to jail, then that's what it is. Because what that does to me is make them think twice, or make other parents who see these stories be like, hold up, let me make sure I'm raising my kids right. Because why do the other victims who got killed, their families have to suffer because of the failure of this family? And then mama's on drugs, the dad, they're all over the place. And of course these things happen. I mean, of course no parent thinks the kid is going to be a school shooter. But given all the stuff that's going on, you never know what's going to happen. So I think that they should be tried. Maybe not as long as the child for actually doing it, but lock them up.
Charged with second-degree murder?
Maybe as an accomplice, or how they said it, in connection with. I like those terms. They rang nice to me.
So we need to lock up the parents for murder? Really? No, not one single bit. Not at all. I mean, again, the father may have been neglectful of putting the guns up, of locking up. I don't know. I'm not really going to speculate on that too much because I really don't know. But should he be charged with murder? Second-degree murder? Of course not. Again, he wasn't there. He had no knowledge of it. He didn't plan it out. He didn't know what was happening. He didn't know anything about it. He didn't want this. I mean, again, was he a bad parent? Maybe. I don't know. But, I mean, probably so, at least to some degree, right? But should he be locked up for second-degree murder? That's what the issue is. It's not an issue of whether or not you're a good or bad parent or whatever. It's whether or not you should be tried for second-degree murder. Because your child, a teenager, took a rifle from your house and shot and killed people with it. Again, should that be the way things are? Of course not. We definitely don't need to have things that way at all. You know, again, man, when it comes to, any person being charged with any crime, they need to have committed their crime. They need to have committed their crime. Again, there's so many different crimes that are committed by people in the ghettos and whatever. And they're like, they're poor victims or this or that. They get off. But you're going after a man that never did a thing, never committed one crime. Again, we can debate on whether or not he should have had that rifle that his son used under tighter control. But as far as, whether or not he should be charged with murder, that's different. And again, we know, it's not right. How can you charge somebody for something they did not do or have any knowledge of? But you're going to charge them. Why? Because again, you're trying to send a message. And the message is, you don't need to have guns, because guess what? If somebody takes one of your guns and they use it to commit a crime, we can charge you with it. Especially if that's your child. Especially. And we come after you. We can, and again, what's the next step? It's the next step, that somebody can break into your house, take a gun that you own, go out and kill somebody with it, and guess what? You'll be charged for murder. Think about that for a minute. And also think about this. If it was truly about crime, they were truly trying to stop crime, stop violence, what would they do? They would go after also the ghetto bomb. Think about that for a minute. I mean, 13% or less than 13% of the population, black people, commit the majority of violent crime in the country. And most of that is committed by young black men. Well, why don't we charge Shamika with what her son does? Why don't we charge her because her son raped, 2 women, and again shot somebody, beat somebody up, killed this person? Why don't we charge her? Because that would be racist. It would be unfair. We can't do that. She'll make you trying. She's doing the best she can. So is everyone else. But again, what they're doing is just trying to send a message. First of all, this is a white man And it happened earlier this year when they charged the father and the mother of a young man who went in and shot and killed people in school. They charged him. They charged parents. And the parents got 10 years, I think, apiece. It's like, for what? Yeah, something is not put up right or whatever. It's one thing. But you're not going to charge them with assault or manslaughter or whatever. I mean, again, they did not do that. We don't lock people up for being stupid or having a lack of judgment. I mean, if we did, we'd have Chicago, the entire damn city, including the mayor, including little Brandon Johnson, locked up. Because that's where they would belong. I mean, really. But we don't. We don't lock people up for being stupid. We don't lock people up for being retarded. We don't. Again, Kamala Harris would be locked up. But I'm going to show you what Jesse had to say about this.
I don't think that the parents should go to jail. I don't think that the government should be involved in this at all, because one of the primary problems in our country today is too much government. It's just too much government. And the government, they tell the parents you can't spank your kids. If you do, you're going to jail. Or we're going to take your kids from you, at least, and give them away to somebody else. Mm-hmm. And then they tell the parents that, they tell the children, we're going to cut off your body part if you feel like a girl or a boy, but don't tell your parents.
Or jail the parents if they're against it.
And put the parents in jail if they're against it. And now something like giving your son a gun, it used to be so typical. I mean, I couldn't wait to turn 15 to get my first gun. And I never even thought about going out shooting somebody. I wanted to shoot an animal, a squirrel or something.
Because you were raised right, though.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I had common sense not to think that way.
But the kids today don't.
But I think what it is, too much government. Yeah. Now, let's say this boy had done this. If allegedly he did this. This shouldn't just be jail time, a trial. He go to jail and be punished for his crime. The parents didn't have anything to do with this. Nothing, no matter how bad their life, because parents got to deal with issues too. And I just don't think the parents should be blamed for this. And the government made this decision that they're going to punish the parents while handicaps the parents in raising their own children. You're damn if you do, or you're damn if you don't. And I don't give a darn if he does come home, Paul. But what y'all think about that?
I think that you're 100% right on government is way too involved in all things.
How the government, just think of the government don't care about nobody but themselves. And they're going to take hold of you and your family.
Yeah,
They can't even raise their own children.
No, that's true. I don't think government should be involved as much as they are, but I say we get rid of all the government involvement on other things and keep this one.
In no way should the parents be charged with anything. No way. Again, man, we have to understand in this country right now, the parents are being attacked big time, especially the fathers. They're being attacked. We have to understand this father had no knowledge of what happened or what was going to happen. He had no knowledge. Again, I'm not saying that he's not responsible for securing the gun in the house, but charged for murder, second degree. No. Again, we got to understand, man, that, they can go after you for whatever now. And again, they can hamstring you when it comes to, in certain states, when it comes to your rights, as far as what a parent can know about their child. If their 13-year-old doesn't want them knowing that they feel like they were born in the wrong body, again, the school has to keep that from the parent. And they can direct the child on how to get reassignment, quote unquote, surgery. We have to understand this stuff is messed up. It's messed up. But again, we can charge a parent for murder. For murder. They had no idea. No idea at all. But again, they're trying to spread a message. They're trying to send a message that, hey, look, we can go after you. We can go after your guns. And it's better if you just, give up your guns. Because again, we can charge you for whatever your kid does. And we're going to start charging people for, people breaking into their house and stealing something and using that to hurt somebody else. We can go after you for that too. We're coming after you. We're coming after you. Again, the message is pretty clear. Again, there's so much violence out there. So much violence. We have illegals breaking into the country. We don't do anything. We don't do it. They commit crimes. They rape women. They kill people. They rob stores. They take over apartment complexes. We don't do a damn thing. We don't do a thing. As a matter of fact, we give them money towards buying a damn house. And what do we do to our own people? We charge fathers with murder because their son, their teenage son, kills somebody with a gun that belonged to the father. And the father had no idea. Do we understand? It's not about the crimes. That's not about people getting hurt or killed or whatever. It's who. It's all about who. They're out there getting the people like you and me, the average everyday Americans. They're out after us. They don't care about us. Well, they care about the migrants. But they care so much. They're so compassionate. They're such good people. No, they're not. They're little damn demons. That's what the hell they are. People have got to wake the hell up and understand what's happening. But hey, guys, man, if you would, please like, subscribe, and leave a comment down below. Thanks.
You son of a